Hey guys, welcome to another video. So again, I get a lot of questions asking how do I put tribars in my lights. So the kit that I use, I've said before in my other video, is the Diode Dynamics tribar light. One thing I haven't mentioned in my other video is the controller. So please do get the Bluetooth controller. I think it's an extra 50 bucks, but it's totally worth it because it allows you to control the lights from your phone, and to be honest, it's just a better build. 2.5 years ago, when I got my set, the kit comes with like a cheap Chinese looking controller, and it's no good. It's not even going to be waterproof. So definitely get the $50 upgrade. It's well worth it. Money well spent, and reliability is the name of the game. So the cutting method. Yep. It will work on, I think it'll work on American lights as well, because all you'd have to do is cut out the existing stuff that's in there, take the boards out, and just leave the cables. I don't think it will be an issue. What I would recommend is you apply maybe some RTV to the end of those cables so nothing shorts out, and then you just put in your Diode Dynamic kits and you're good to go, basically. And yeah, good luck.
So you start off with the soldering iron and make an incision as shown. I prefer a soldering iron simply because it doesn't leave any fine particles inside your light casing, which can then contaminate the environment inside it and then leave you with, cuttings on your lens. So a soldering iron is best, so that make sure you do it in a ventilated area, because you don't really want to be breathing in the smoke. Once you've made the incision, you just get a heat gun, heat around the back of the area that you made the incision on and lift it up, and it should just bend. An oven glove helps. Just let it cool. You can use a wet microfiber to help that process. You can then go ahead and put in the tribars straight in there. Use a good quality epoxy and do them one by one. So I used, I think it was Unibond 10-minute epoxy, which is good for like 120 degrees Celsius, so it's heat resistant. I initially just put in very light dabs just to get sort of a tack on there, put them in place, and then I test them to make sure everything is good, and that's when I add more glue in there just to make sure that they then don't come off. The tabs at the bottom are actually quite hard to reach, and these are some of the pictures to show you how they sort of sit in there. I think this method can be used for American headlights as well, because all you do is cut the wiring, insert these boards, and glue these in place, and make sure that the wiring that was already there has been sealed off so it doesn't short. So use a bit of RTV at the end of each of the cuts. You can see the plastic is bent there, but you have more than enough room to get your fingers in there and do it, and make sure they don't go away anywhere. So you can see I'm using a long wooden stick, so it's kind of like a chopstick that came with my orchids, which is perfect for getting in there and applying little dabs of epoxy to the bottom tabs. Once you've done that, just apply a bit of heat to the back of the flap and it should start to fold down again. The oven glove helps. Once you're happy with it, just hold it in place. Again, as I got more experience, I started using a wet microfiber to sort of cool it down into place, and then it just becomes a lot faster. Once you're happy that it is where it needs to be, well, there you go. I'm using a wet towel just to sort of get it there, and then you just apply a bit of heat into the area and do a sort of a plastic weld. Since then I've got a little, like a staple, which sort of goes into the joint and embeds a piece of metal into the plastic, which would make it secure. But to be honest, just do this with a bit of heat, move it around with the carving set, and you know, it should stay there. And then what we do after this is I get some of that Unibond epoxy, and I just apply it in this whole area very, very liberally. As you can see, I'm doing like, it takes about 10 minutes to set, 10 to 15 minutes, and pretty much good to go. But I would advise you to leave it for about 5 or 6 hours for it to fully cure. But you can apply it liberally, and it's all good. I also made a small hole towards the back of this incision, where the cabling would come out, and closing that follows the same sort of process. As you can see there, so I'm just doing the back end of that now. Again, slowly but slowly separate the wires. Make sure the wire mesh is cut away, because that will prevent you from having a good seal. And yeah, just make sure you get in between each of those cables, and you should be good to go. As you can see, it's all tied up in there, and there's nowhere any water's going in. I've done this method on a friend's set of headlights, and he's had them for about 2.5 years, and he's had absolutely no issue with regards to water ingress. Once you've done that, you can tidy this up if you wanted to, but to be honest, nobody's ever going to see it. So it's completely up to you. I then taped up the cables and applied an overlapping coat of epoxy as well, just to be absolutely sure.
So that was the cutting method. As you can see, it's a lot easier, a lot less hassle. Again, some of the recommendations I've made with regards to using a soldering iron or a hot blade to cut through the plastic casing, I would still recommend, because you do not want any fines in there. Again, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them in the comments, I guess. And yeah, let me know. Send me some photos, see how you guys are doing. And if you guys are struggling, again, just drop me a message on here, and I'll try and help you out whichever way I can. Good luck with the mod. Have a good day. Peace out.